Hi to responsibility. Okay, yesterday for our English SLS package, I'm sure you guys already went through all the activities. It was an activity where you were introduced to a new Stella book, which is which is entitled Chicken Food, and you were introduced to new vocabulary along the way. Okay, but for today, I think I would like to go through with you the book personally. Okay, because I always feel that it is more enjoyable when the teacher went through the book with you page by page. Okay, so this is not something very new to you. Okay, we went through this book. It's a flip book in your SLS package, which is entitled Chicken Food. Okay, so one of our Stella books was entitled Chicken Rice. If you remember, it was in fact one of the earliest books that we read this year, and this time it's Chicken Food. Now, if you look at the main page or at the cover page, okay, you will see this man here bending over and looking at what I see here is there are in fact a few chickens that have actually hatched out of their colorful eggs. Okay, I have never seen eggs that colorful, but yeah, in this picture or in this story, the eggs are colorful. Okay, so we can only guess that the man here might be the farmer or the person who is taking care of all the animals in the farm. Okay, so let's see what the story is all about. It is written by Jill Eggleton, the person who has always been the one who has been writing most of your Stella books, and it is illustrated by Trevor Pye. Now, if let's say some of us had forgotten, okay, the illustrator is a person who draws and who colors your book. Okay, are we ready for this? Okay, so chicken food. So in this page, you can see all the cute chickens here, all pecking at the bottom of the ground. Now, usually chickens, right, they will tend to peck on the ground to find like small insects, small bugs, or if you're lucky, who knows, some worms. Okay, so which is why you always see them pecking on the ground. That is what their beak is for, to find bugs, insects, worms, right? And here you have that same man again. Most likely he is a farmer, and here is his small farm where they are full of chickens. And the one, this building here at the back could probably be his house where he stays, right? I will fold it into half so that it's clearer for you to see page by page. Okay, Mr. Maguire had eggs all over his backyard, so my guess was correct. This is his house, and his farm here, his small farm, is at the backyard. Okay, we don't have this in Singapore because in Singapore we all live in most of us live in HDB flats. We do not have a backyard. Okay, what we have is most likely a leaf landing, and that's it. Okay, but all the big houses, the private houses, they have their own backyards. Okay, Mr. Maguire had eggs all over his backyard. He kept those eggs so warm that they cracked, and out came chickens. The chickens chirped, "Chicken food! Chicken food! We want chicken food!" "What's chicken food?" said Mr. Maguire. So he was like, you look at his face, he was very perplexed. He was very puzzled. What's chicken food? Do you know what's chicken food? Okay. Oh, they were asking, "I want chicken food. I want chicken food." But Mr. Maguire, I don't know what's chicken food. Let's see if he managed to find out what is chicken food. Okay. So, over here, okay, there is another woman in the window. Okay, the woman seems to be telling him something, and he seems to be trying to figure out, oh, so that is chicken food. He looks like, okay, he's trying to understand what is chicken food. Okay, and all the chickens here must probably be very hungry. Okay, because they are waiting for their chicken food. Okay, so let's see what is chicken food that the chickens are actually referring to. Mrs. Maguire, so it's his the lady in the window is his wife. Mrs. Maguire looked out of the window. You will have to dig up the garden, she said. You will have to dig up the garden and get slugs and bugs and beetles for crunching and worms that wriggle and squiggle for munching. That's chicken food. Yeah, okay. So we all know that the chickens are actually referring to all the insects and all the bugs and all the creepy crawlies that you can see or you can find on the ground. So what is Mr. Maguire going to do? Is he going to dig up the soil deep inside to find all those creepy crawlies and all those bugs? Let us see. And that was what he did. He had his shovel, okay, and he dig up so deep into the ground to find all the slugs, the snails, the bugs, the worms, okay, all those horrible creatures that I'm very, very scared of, okay. And he looked like he's so intent on it, he's so focused on doing it, okay, because there's like all his sweat is coming out, okay, and all the soil is like, you know, being thrown over his shoulder. But he is so focused on finding the chicken food that he doesn't care. I want to find this chicken food and I want to find it now to feed my chickens. So Mr. Maguire got a spade. Oh, okay, so this is a spade. I think a longer one would be a shovel. Okay, he got a spade and he dug up the garden in a flurry and a scurry. Okay, if you can tell, what does it mean in a flurry or in a scurry means? It means that he was digging it so fast. He was so intent on doing it. Okay, the dirt flew so high, it covered the clouds. Can you imagine that? So high, up into the sky. But down fell slugs and bugs and beetles for crunching and worms that wriggled and squiggled for munching. He found his chicken food. Good, said Mr. Maguire. Chicken food. He finally found his chicken food to feed all the hungry and the noisy chickens. Are these chickens gonna eat them up? What do you think? Here are all the bugs and the worms and the insects. But look at the chickens. They don't seem to be interested. Now what is wrong? You want chicken food? I dug up for you and now you said you don't want chicken food? What is the problem? There seems to be a problem. Look at Mr. Maguire. He's like, what's the problem now? You know, you want it, I've dug it, and now you say that's not the one. Let's find out what's the problem. It wasn't chicken food. It wasn't chicken food for those chickens. They just turned up their beaks and chirped. Chicken food, we want chicken food. What's chicken food? Said Mr. Maguire. So see, look at all these chickens. They turned up their beaks and said, we want chicken food. This is not chicken food. So Mrs. Maguire was wrong after all. The chickens were not asking for bugs or insects or worms, okay, for munching and crunching. Alright, so what is it that they are actually asking for? Let's find out. So Mr. Maguire must probably be saying to his wife, "You are wrong. Those are not chicken food." Okay, so the wife is probably just as perplexed or just as puzzled. What then is chicken food? I thought chickens and hens, usually they will eat insects, bugs, and probably grains. So what are all these chickens asking for? Let's find out. Mrs. Maguire looked out of the window. "You will have to dig up the grass," she said. "You will have to dig up the grass and get seeds, like the grains that they usually just spread onto the ground, and the chickens or hens are pecked on them. Okay, that's all that kind of seeds, and weeds and crickets for crunching." Crickets now. "And spiders that wiggle and jiggle for munching. That's chicken food." Now Mrs. Maguire said something else. It's not just insects, or it's not just worms. Okay, now it's seeds, now it's crickets and spiders. Let's see if she's correct this time around, yeah? So, what did Mr. Maguire do? Okay, he obediently go to his field, and he even had his tractor working, to dig deeper into the ground to find all those. You want crickets? You want spiders? You want seeds? Okay, I will work it out for you. So that is what Mr. Maguire actually do. Look at him. He even has goggles on. Okay, he's sitting on his tractor, and he's happily, digging into the ground, and all the big chunks of soil, flew up high into the sky. Okay, and this time, he's trying to find a different kind of chicken food. And let's see if it's the right kind, yeah? So Mr. Maguire got a digger. Okay, and he dug up the grass in a flurry and a scurry. Again, he was so intent. He was telling himself, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to find the right kind of chicken food." Okay, the grass flew so high, it covered the sun. Wow. So you can imagine, he really dug deep into the ground, because once he dug deep, the whole chunk of soil flew up into the sky. But down came seeds and weeds and crickets for crunching, and spiders that wiggled and jiggled for munching. "Good," said Mr. Maguire. "Chicken food." Do you think this time he got it right? Let's see. Apparently still not. Look at the chickens. They turned up their beaks, and that's not the one. They're giving him the attitude. That's not the one. Okay, it's not our chicken food. Okay, look at them. I don't want to eat this chicken food. Giving him that look. And Mr. Maguire was, "What have I done wrong again this time? I've dug so deep to find your crickets and weeds and spiders. I've pulled out my digger. I've used my goggles. What do you chicken want exactly?" I pity this man, don't you? But it wasn't. It still wasn't a chicken food they were asking for. It wasn't chicken food for those chickens. They just turned up their beaks and chirped, "Chicken food, chicken food, we want chicken food." Mr. Maguire was frantic. He started to panic. "Oh my God, what am I going to feed these chickens with? What is chicken food?" he wailed. So he has started to shout. The meaning of wailed here. He was like shouting to no one in particular, like, "What is chicken food?" Okay, do you know what's chicken food? I don't know what's chicken food too. If I have chickens as pets, I'll just feed them grains. But apparently these chickens are hard to please. Okay? Let's see what Mr. Maguire will do next. Oh, he seems puzzled still. So probably he was just asking the chickens, what exactly is it? Is chicken food, you know? But Mrs. Maguire here looks happy. Okay, she doesn't look as worried as Mr. Maguire. Okay, now let's see. Look at the chickens. They're as if they are dancing. They're jumping up and down. Okay, let's see what the chicken's trying to tell him. Mrs. Maguire looked out of the window. Chicken burgers, she said. That's chicken food. Chicken burgers, said Mr. Maguire. Are you kidding me? Chicken burgers? Chicken eat chicken burgers? Remember the book, The Chicken Rice? When the monkey passed the chicken rice to chicken, the chicken was frantic. He ran away. He was so panicked because he's so scared that he'll be the next one in the chicken rice. Do you remember? But in this story, apparently the chickens want to eat chicken burgers. They want to eat their own kind. Chicken burgers, chirped the chickens. And they did the chicken wobble. So this is what they were actually doing. They were doing the chicken wobble. Or in short, they are actually doing the chicken dance. It's called a chicken wobble. Maybe you can try the chicken wobble on your own at home. But I am surprised that the chickens want to eat chicken burgers, because chicken burgers are made up of chickens, right? Oh, okay. So, chicken burgers are not made up of chickens. These chicken burgers are actually made up of all the insects and all the crickets and the weeds and the earthworms that Mr. Maguire had already dug just now. So it's just putting all those ingredients inside the burger. Okay? So you have the bread, the burger bread, and instead of stuffing chicken patties, he stuffed all the ingredients. Okay, not all the ingredients, all the insects and the weeds. And he dug up the first time and the second round. And the chickens actually called them chicken burgers. Okay, so not to worry, chicken burgers, okay, the patty is not made up of chickens. However, it's made up of all those creepy crawlies that I mentioned just now. But the chickens called them chicken burgers. So Mr. Maguire made chicken burgers with slugs. Slugs are just like snails, but they do not have the shell. Okay? And bugs, and beetles for crunching, and worms that wriggle and squiggle for munching, and seeds, and weeds, and crickets for crunching, and spiders that wiggle and jiggle for munching. So that is chicken burger. So, did Mr. Maguire's effort go to waste? No, because what he did was actually to find out the main ingredients for him to make chicken burgers. Okay, so at home he was happily, look at his face, happily putting all those creepy crawlies who were also moving out of the bowl at the same time and stuffing them inside the burger, okay, to make chicken burgers. Let's see whether the chickens are happy this time. Oh, so this time they ate the chicken burgers, and as you can see, the chickens have now all grown to become bigger. They have grown to become bigger hens, okay, even though they're not the same color. Just now was yellow, now it's white. And Mr. Maguire looks extremely happy. Finally, I know what they eat, okay? So Mr. Maguire's chicken burgers were amazing. Okay, the chickens loved them. But those chickens ate so many that they grew and grew. Oh goodness, look! They grew so big and humongous and enormous, even bigger than him. And grew, look at the words in bold. Okay, it means that they grew so big. You will not find this kind of hens outside because they're extremely big. They're even bigger than a human. And now Mr. Maguire has humongous hens. Humongous is in black and big and bold. that means the hands are extremely fat and big. Look, if I see this kind of hands outside, I will run away from them. They look like ostrich. Okay, they look frightening. They just peck you and they will hurt you. The end. Okay, so what can we learn from this story? Okay, we have learned that one person's definition, okay, may be different from another person's definition. Okay, like for example, when the chickens mention chicken food, okay, what does it mean by chicken food? Alright, when what we understand as chicken food is grains, insects, bugs, okay, but what the chicken food to the chickens actually meant is, yes, it's all those, but you must stuff them in a burger. Okay, so when you're talking to someone or when you interacting with someone, okay, it's very important that you understand, okay, what that person is actually talking about, because what they meant or what they understood by something may not be what you understand. Okay, I think this is especially useful when you're talking to small children, you know, because what they understand about something and what you understand about something may be totally different. Okay, for example, they say, I want snacks. Okay, and if I'm a parent, if I'm a mother, if my child asks for snack, I'll just give him a healthy snack, like a healthy biscuit. But sometimes what he meant by a snack is he just probably wants an ice cream or chocolate. So you can give him 10 biscuits, but he still will not be happy, because no, that's not snack. A snack must be something very sweet, something like that. Okay, and I also admire Mr. Maguire's resilience. Okay, did he give up? He did not give up. Not once did he give up. Okay, he continued to persevere. He continued listening to Mrs. Maguire, even though she may not get it all right, but he continued. Okay, he used his spade, he used his digger, he put on his goggles, and he find out all those things that Mrs. Maguire tell him, you know, to find. All those are chicken food. Okay, he was very resilient and he didn't give up. Okay, and in the end he was rewarded with giant and humongous hens who will lay for him giant and humongous eggs. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Okay, and we will see each other in school and we will learn more grammar items related to the book. Okay, bye.